Greetings, fellow runaway subway cars. Tiki here,
And Jacob Weil.
and welcome to another thrilling episode of Tiki's Universe. It's the all-encompassing show where we discuss a variety of current animated cartoons, Steven Universe, Star vs. Force of Evil, and now Milo Murphy's Law. That's right, Jacob. We are back. We are covering the collaboration between Weird Al Yankovic and the creators of Phineas and Ferb. So, oh boy, Jacob, I hate this whole conundrum we've gotten ourselves into with this airing schedule. And this episode was released on Amazon as a preview, and then it wasn't the actual episode 2. The actual episode 2 was just released with the pilot episode. So, Jacob, it's a big mess right now. I have seen the Undergrounders. I have not seen the proper episode 2. So we're just going to talk about the Undergrounders right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys want our opinions on the show, like as a whole, more, I think we're going to get more in depth with that on the video we just did about the pilot episode. Shit. What was that? What was the name of that episode, Jacob? I apologize.
Going the extra Milo.
Going the extra Milo. Thank you. So. I think we kind of broke down our overall thoughts on like the structure of the show and everything and the characters, and that's probably the more in-depth podcast. We're going to kind of quickly power through this episode because I feel like this episode is a little bit more on the like it's not as elaborate as the pilot episode. It's fun. It's a good episode in its own way. I just don't think there's as much to talk about. So we break down the series in probably a lot more detail on the pilot episode if you want to go check that out. But anyways, Jacob, let's power through this. Let's get this started. We start in the subway station. They're going to go to the Museum of Natural History, and I guess we get a running gag of Melissa being forgetful. I mean, I guess that's going to come back. It wasn't really in the first episode in any way, shape, or form. Is that gag in Sunny Side Up at all? Melissa being forgetful?
No, it's actually she's not really forgetful in that episode. She's in that episode. She's actually trying to keep up her grade point average.
Okay, there you go. It's like, why? I don't know. Random gag, kind of a random gag. Whatever, it's fine.
It's not even brought up again in this episode.
Exactly. Well, that's probably like early episode syndrome. We talked about pilotitis, but there's also like, just early episodes of an animated show. They're trying to see what sticks with characters. So,
and she could just been like screwing around with them too.
Right. All right, Jacob, so let's get to Bradley. He's kind of like the problem character I have. I respect that it's the same voice actor as Phineas, and I respect that he's doing a completely different character. That's cool. That makes me respect the character a little bit more, but I gotta admit, man, this guy's still a little bit grating.
Well, I mean, at least he's not whiny, though, like a high-pitched whiny voice, though.
I mean, he's not high-pitched whiny, but definitely, like, the way he's written is whiny, though.
He's more kind of like bored and more than anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good idea. Like, it does kind of address that. Milo is a bit of a spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I know several people like him, the whole passive aggressive kind of type.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, that's a good way to describe it. It's like basically passive aggressive. Like he's like this again.
I'm not sure it could grow on me. It's just I'm not loving it so far.
I'm not trying to change it. I'm just saying, like, this is like trying to see where he's coming from. Like, imagine you knew somebody like Milo. I mean, wouldn't you kind of be the same way if you didn't like that?
Yeah, I guess. Right. That's fair. But,
I mean, like I said, I don't expect to change your opinion or anything. I'm just saying.
So Milo gets stuck in the turnstiles, and he kind of does this ridiculous. He bursts out of the turnstiles as everyone's watching, and Bradley's trying to give out like history about the museum, like trivia about the museum, but no one's paying attention to him. And Milo, he does this walk on his legs into the train,
on his
floor.
On his legs. I mean, that's how everybody does it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. On his hands. I'm sorry. I didn't get much sleep last night, if you can't tell.
Fine. On his legs. Well,
on his feet, because on his legs it wouldn't be a joke.
Yeah.
He lands on the floor and he says, "This floor is a lot cleaner than I expected."
Yeah.
So Milo just always preparing for the worst. That's definitely a thing of his character, and in a very optimistic kind of way too.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they're traveling the subway, and apparently the ad campaign from last year was Historic and dirty and full of weird smells.
Yeah,
God,
that was Rat campaign last year.
Slogan I can get behind.
Yes.
Man,
it's honesty in advertising. You don't see that a
God
lot.
bless America.
Don't see a lot of honest advertising nowadays.
Okay, so Melissa kind of brings up the mole people legend.
He's like, I know how they're like, there's people living underground and all that. Like, I'd rather meet them above. It's actually like, I'd rather meet them above ground. And then they would be mole people. They're just people.
So then there's
which is a good point. It's like, if you meet mole people above ground, they're just people.
Right. There's a little bit of a bump, and then Milo pulls out just his seatbelts, and he would have more seatbelts, but he lost a lot of them in the dreaded llama incident. Oh God, Jacob, I honestly hope that this is some sort of big like flashback that we get to see of the llama. Like, it's fine if it's nothing. It's fine if it's a throwaway line, but just given the fact that the llamas are in the intro, like suddenly I'm really curious about what happened with the llamas.
We'll just have to wait and see. I personally thought it was a throwaway line, but then now that you bring up the llamas, that's a good point.
I would think I would totally think it's a throwaway line if not for the fact that we see the llamas in the intro. That's the only reason that I think it might come back.
Probably find out. Maybe llamas are the reason why he has bad luck.
But you know what? You know what incident, Jacob, that's even more tragic than the llama incident that I think we need to address?
What?
The Twinkle Light fiasco of '89.
Oh no.
So many people lost their lives. So many innocent lives lost. All right, watch the Goof Troop Christmas special if you want to know what that line's referring to. Anyways, the Twinkle Light fiasco of '89. Oh God. Okay, so Bradley's kind of arguing about Pluto not being a planet, I guess.
Even when Mort agrees, the Mort should be more like it should be a planet.
So I'm not really like Bradley. It's like I'm not actively against him. He's fine, but I really like Mort though. Let's talk about Mort.
Oh yeah, Mort's awesome.
Like he's just had a couple moments so far, but like I really like what I'm seeing of him already.
I think you'd actually like these two characters better in the Sunny Side Up episode.
Okay. So literally like the train car that Milo, Zach, and Melissa are in just kind of comes disattached from the other subway cars. And this is like kind of like the line of the episode for me. Zach, Moore is just kind of dryly looking at Jacob. It's the line mixed with the animation too. I just love the facial expression on Mort's face. He's just so unamused. You know what I mean? He's
a little disappointed.
Like, oh, that's what a runaway train car looks like. I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed. Like I said, it's the line mixed with just the facial reaction that he has. He's just so, just so not into it.
I've seen better in movies. I don't need this. This is boring.
And it's kind of true. It's like it is like it's not like a Temple of Doom like runaway minecart situation. At least not yet.
Yeah, like, yep, so they try to fix the situation, then of careening off course.
And then we get into kind of like the Donkey Kong country of it all. Just let me say, just really, really stellar animation with the train car and, like the windows and the backgrounds and everything.
I was circling around Milo.
Right. Really, really good cinematography. Like
that's really hard to do in animation.
The camera work, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which kind of shows later on, actually, which kind of honestly does show up later in the episode, where sometimes they get kind of cheap out a little bit.
Right, a little, yeah. But that's okay though, because it's a really good sequence.
I know, but yeah, but then they finally crash and they're all survived.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to the seatbelts.
Yeah, well,
unbuckle, you press down on this button.
Only Milo had the seatbelt, though. That's the thing.
That's true. He's just demonstrating it.
Yes. Only Milo had the seatbelt. Melissa and Zach had to careen around the minecart. Minecart, subway cart, whatever.
Okay, so we get a great gag with Zach being claustro avoidant, which is avoiding anything with small spaces, I guess. But the great gag is Milo trying to distract him, and at first he just does a little dance, but then he just pulls out of his backpack his Wander's hat-esque backpack.
A bunch of Paris posters and an accordion.
Oh god, this is great. This is great.
I wonder if the accordion is just like a subtle reference to Weird Al.
Oh, I bet it is. I honestly didn't even think of that, but that's a good point.
But funny thing, I know I keep bringing Sunny Side Up, but in that episode, you can actually see an accordion in Milo's room.
Oh god. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. They're definitely. I wonder if they're gonna show Milo as like a kind of an inspiring an aspiring accordion player. Sorry.
that'd be pretty.
I can't talk.
But back to this.
Yeah. So Zach is definitely distracted by the posters because he's just like, you've been carrying around that the whole time.
I prepare for every eventuality.
All right.
And then they like, and now to get out of here. Pull out a key. How that key works, I have no clue.
Deus Ex Key.
They're like, okay, next time, key first, tap dancing later.
Okay, so then the mysterious underground creatures start walking towards them, as you can see in that shot. I really like the composition of the shot with the shadows and everything.
After somehow DOG, we know that DOG doesn't find them yet, but Milo talks about how things can survive down there, finding a chicken bone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the undergrounders arrive.
And then Melissa has a good callback. Oh, that's what they look like? I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed.
We are the balonies. I love Scott in this episode.
Okay, so I'm betting he's a Phineas and Ferb voice actor, right?
He's not one of the voice actors. I mean, he might have guest starred he might have voiced in an episode, but he's actually the story editor.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's cool.
The guy, I believe what I saw in the credits is he's played by Scott Peterson. He's a story editor for Phineas and Ferb and this show.
Uh-huh.
But yes, he was he was funny in this. like we are the balonies.
Subterraneous.
Yes, we're the undergrounders. Like the subterraneous.
And the great gag about this is that Steve is the only one of them that's crazy. The rest of them are just totally chill, normal guys.
like seriously, Scott.
Oh, Scott. I'm sorry, Scott.
I mean, that wasn't the seriously, but like the guys are like, oh, seriously, Scott. Yeah, they turns out these are subway workers who were making an extension to the tunnel and got lost, and in an entire month built a society underground.
Oh yeah. Well, it took 39 days to build a new society on Survivor, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyways, yay, Survivor references, so topical.
but as it turns out, they have quite the thriving society.
Like all kinds of just crates and stuff that they built up. Kind of reminds me of Box Trolls a bit, but just the atmosphere.
Yep, and somehow they have licorice and chicken.
Yeah. But then, of course, DOG just somehow manages to get there.
Yep.
Because God knows what DOG was doing just randomly in a subway tunnel. God knows how he got there.
The fluffy-eared one shall be our leader.
He's not supposed to be in the tunnel.
And like I said, and also, the fluffy-eared one shall be our leader.
Oh God. So, of course, DOG always knows the way back home because DOG is just like the wonder dog.
Well, dogs are instinct when they know their ways home.
That's true. So,
but I'm not. That the thing is, how does he find them?
right.
That's the wonder DOG.
So then Melissa and Milo get trapped under rocks, under a big pile of rocks.
On the way there.
Uh-huh. And the rock crushes the beloved backpack.
If you're like, okay, you might want to worry a little bit.
Okay, meanwhile, the teacher is trying to take attendance at the museum, and she's counting, like, she has 15 kids, but she needs 18, and then she asks, like, one of the museum attendants, like, excuse me, I can't read my own handwriting. Is this a 5 or an 8?
Oh, boy.
And I'm just going to call it out, Jacob. I'm sorry. I know you don't think it's an intentional reference, but they do reference rose quartz. I know it's an actual mineral, but rose quartz is also a pivotal character in Steven Universe. And Jacob, if you really understood the properties of rose quartz, you wouldn't be asking about it.
Yeah, all right, Mort.
And I'm saying that, like, if you really understood the significance of rose quartz as a character in Steven Universe.
I'm sure I do, but I still don't think it's an intentional reference.
That's all I have to say to that. That's all I have to say.
I just think what I just like is Mort's delivery of the line when Bradley's at something. Do you really need that? After he says "my best day ever," which is actually a reference to Phineas. By the way, when Bradley says "best day ever,"
right.
Like,
so
he's like, Mort, do you need that much rose quartz? If you knew the properties, you wouldn't even need to ask that. I just love the delivery on that line.
Yeah. Okay, so Zach's trying to free them, trying to free Melissa and Milo. We get a callback to the wolves and the aliens, which I think is nice, kind of threading in a little bit of continuity.
Yeah, and you face that, and that's just since we've met.
Now, Jacob, I have to wonder about that line because doesn't that imply that this episode would initially be the second episode?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
That's the thing with me. That's what, because, like, I mean, obviously, like, something had to have happened in Sunnyside Up. Like, it's not like nothing happened in Sunnyside Up. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they did it like this.
I know. I'm just giving them a hard time. Anyways.
Blame Disney.
I do blame Disney. I do. No, it's all your fault, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm in control of the airing schedule. I wish I was, because they would have done it like this, or at least I would have known why.
Oh, God. Anyways.
So they steal. So Zach decides, since none of the undergrounders or balonies, if you want to call whatever you want to call them, none of them can fit under there. So Zach's the only one that can.
Mm.
And then they're like trying to like, oh no, it's like no, it's fine. Like it's like we have a group. He like rambles off a few things like, Zach, actually never mind. Like actually never mind, we're not fine.
Yep.
And then like, Zach brings up a good point. How will I know if I move this boulder won't crush you? Milo brings up like, everything's worked so far. Relatively. Then Melissa like brings up relatively speaking, which is good considering they've went underground in a subway card.
Sure.
Yeah, but of course. Zach pulls it out, and he pulls out the rock, and they get out. Which then it's hit by a bunch of stalactites.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of losing track of my notes a little bit, but
after Melissa and Milo escape from where they were, it collapses, and then where they were gets hit by a bunch of giant stalactites.
Mm-hmm. And then DOG comes out with Deus Ex Train Car.
This show's probably gonna pull a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbenders with their Deus Exes.
I just love the comedy of it though, because with DOG, it's like they're totally self-aware about it.
Yeah. And I also I thought they were gonna. I was like, I would have just left it down there to start an underground society together, or something like that.
Then that would be a completely different show if the whole show was about like Milo and the Undergrounders.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. It'd be pretty interesting to see a show focusing on the undergrounders.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, let's quickly wrap this up.
So what they do is like they somehow get the derailed cart working. The one that was abandoned years ago.
Yeah, DOG somehow gets it working.
Yeah, of course. DOG does. DOG's like he's like their Deus Ex dog.
Like I said, I think DOG is definitely going to be a highlight of the show. I can already tell.
What you can call Dog is X.
Dog is Ex Machina.
Yes. Or Deus Ex Dogma. Whatever one works. So the minecart gets going. Milo tries to turn it using the hand thing, and it breaks. Of course, because of course it does. The question is, what would have happened if someone else grabbed it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
And so it crashes. And goes flying again. Which brings up the whole thing I said earlier about when they kind of cheaped out on the animation.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah.
Where it's just still images of them and the wine carts turning in the background.
Do you think that's intentional? Do you think it's supposed to be a joke?
It might be, but it seems kind of cheap.
All right, fair enough.
Especially compared to the first episode and some of the earlier sequences.
It's just like this show definitely kind of has a meta style to it with the humor, so I wouldn't put it past them to have cheap animation as a joke.
I wouldn't put it past them either, but I'm just saying.
All right, so
yeah. They survive, and then they come across. Then as they're creating up, they hit the mine exit. Which for some reason leads into the museum.
Yeah, very conveniently.
Yeah, which crashes, sends a Stegosaurus skeleton.
And Bradley's like trying to give trivia on the Stegosaurus.
Yeah, and then it traps both him and Mort.
Yep.
Honestly,
right, Jacob, I'm sorry, I kind of trailed off a little bit there with my notes. My notes weren't the most precise, but overall, that's it. So, final thoughts.
And honestly, yeah, so it traps them under there. And well, they're actually not done yet.
Oh, we're not? I'm sorry.
Now, what happens is like the undergrounders finally get out of there. The teacher catches up on her, catches up with like, oh, I guess there was 18. And then
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. My bad.
It brings up something. Milo brings up something to one of the undergrounders that wants to go back to see the month of DVR that they missed.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Of the Dr. Zone files, which is going to be a recurring thing later on.
Yeah.
It's like all of them decide to go home except for Scott, who decides to go back underground.
Mm-hmm.
And Bradley's there makes Bradley the leader temporarily.
Jacob, I'm sorry, man. I'm kind of losing it with these notes. My notes are like way off.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of striving with professionalism for these podcasts, so I'm sorry. I'm kind of fucking up a little bit.
Well, it's okay. I just watched the episode, but it's fine.
Yeah, I know. I just watched the episode too, so I should have a better handle on it than I do.
Well, after Bradley talks to him for a moment, he's like, actually, never mind. He doesn't think Bradley should be a leader after claiming everyone else should be a leader.
Okay, so final thoughts, Jacob. I'm sorry, I'm kind of exasperated by that.
I know.
Not from the episode, just from like me, and I kind of get hard on myself when I'm not following along really closely with the notes.
Yeah, but one last thing, Bradley brags that he saw him as a leader, but he saw something in me. What was the point? Better be on you. He also saw in a dog.
Mm-hmm.
What final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I honestly don't think this episode is as good as the other one at all. Really.
Yeah, kind of falls short of the first one, but first episode jitters.
I think the first half of the episode is strong with the runaway minecart. The actual undergrounders themselves it's fine. They just seem a little half baked.
Except for Scott, he's like full half.
Yeah, right. Like, and even Scott, it's just kind of like
Scott's
it's
completely
one joke kind of pushed throughout the episode.
That's completely baked.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fine. I really like the animation. Definitely shows that they can do an episode that's not just all chaos all the way through, which is good. It's an early episode, Jacob, and the series is going to take a little while to get its footing. So I think we need to keep that in mind. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it except I'm really sorry that I kind of trailed off towards the end because I just did not have really specific notes. So
It's fine. And for the show not starting off really decent, it really didn't start out that great either. I mean, the episodes were fine, but like I said, it didn't really reach its heights until like the mid of the first season.
Right. But I want to point out, like, I really did enjoy that first episode a lot. So I am high on this series in spite of this episode being not so much lackluster, just not in the same vein as the first episode. So,
Well, the first episode's probably a tough act to follow.
of course. So I'm sure the show will find its footing in time. And, once we get to know the side characters better and everything like that, it'll all come into place.
Well, like I said, now that we're talking about this one, I think you'll actually like some of the. I actually think you'll like Sunny Side Up.
Yeah, you've been teasing Sunny Side Up a lot, so.
Well, yeah, like I said, Bradley's not whiny in the episode. He's kind of more like the braggy like he was in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Mort kind of puts up with him again.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the whole drop an egg and see if it doesn't break experiment.
Okay, cool. So
Plus a teacher who has a strange obsession with her desk.
All right,
plus we even get a glimpse of Milo's dad.
Ooh, okay. Well, if he's anything as awesome as Greg Universe from Steven Universe, then I'm all on board.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, Jacob. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up this podcast, man. I'm being really hard on myself, but.
Well, that's what I'm trying. That's why I'm here to keep it positive.
I guess so. I'm just like, I don't know. My notes, just bad notes this time around. I need to take more thorough notes. But
I didn't take any notes at all. So.
Really? Oh God! How do you do it, man? You have a photographic memory.
Most of the time I wing it and I try to watch it just before.
Fair enough. All right. Well, folks, hopefully the conversation will be what?
I said I like to think of a good memory in that regard.
Hopefully the conversation will be a little bit more engaging in that regard. I'm also a little bit stressed out because we have to get another podcast really quickly afterwards. So maybe that's why I'm out of it, Jacob. I'm out of it when I get stressed out. So I'm sorry about that.
It's fine.
But anyways, folks, thanks for joining us. And next podcast will be better. I promise. I have performance anxiety when it comes to podcasts sometimes. So I don't want to repeat myself.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'll definitely look forward to seeing more of this series.
Yeah. Okay, and tune in next time. In the meantime, don't forget, it's his world, but we're all living in it.